Oh, sorry. All right, and we're live. Here we go. Pick this sword up. All right. Just waiting for some people to show up here. Happy Leviathan Day if you're able to get your hands on it. All right. Working on a little bit of something different. It's a cool little chaos sword there that I actually was hunting for forever in my bits box, and I finally found it. It's the last thing I need to finish off a terrain piece I started forever ago. It's like 99.9% done. This is that 1.1%. Just gonna hand on this one quickly. I'll show you exactly. I might make this some cool purple color. I'll get to the reason for that in a second. I gotta get it painted up though. Yeah. Gee, how's it going, my friend? Welcome. A little bit of a later start tonight, but that's okay. How have you been today, my friend? Oh. Were you able to get your hands on Leviathan at all? You are just starting your day, aren't you? Yes, it is Sunday there, isn't it? In Australia. All right. It's lunchtime, but I had to sleep in. Well, of course you have to sleep in. It's Sunday there. You got to sleep in on Sunday. Trying to get this little sword. I was looking for this little bit forever. You ever have that where you have a bit somewhere in your extensive bits collection and you can't find it, and one day when you're looking for something completely different, you come across that bit? Well, that happened to me today. And I'm going to show you guys what it's all for in a minute or two. I gotta keep a bit of track of the time there. So yeah, were you able to get yourself your copy of Leviathan? Or it's funny because I see people selling bits of it already. One of the Facebook market groups out in near where I live here, there are already people selling bits and pieces of it everywhere. Other people making comments of how they pre-ordered it and still haven't gotten any of their stuff yet. I didn't get okay. Yeah, I didn't get one either. I didn't bother wanting to fight through the queues, and then obviously there's a lot of people who are not too happy right now because they pre-ordered it and they got all the special stuff and it hasn't arrived yet. Obviously, not sure where in the world those people are, but there's always some delay. And there's a bit of delay in Canada sometimes because we get our stuff sent from the States. There's no distribution center in Canada anymore, which is unfortunate. There used to be, but not anymore. Yes. So I'm painting up this littlest of bits here. Just this little sword. It's an old chaos sword from the old Chaos Warrior set from Warhammer Fantasy. Oh, I dropped it. So I'm just painting that up, and it's going to go into, like I said, a terrain piece there. I just got to get it painted up, get it nice and painted here. Just trying to get it based right now. Trying to get my brush cleaned up here. I got to clean up my brushes. They're getting that weird, well, they're getting the build up right at the base there, and so there's that few millimeters that's getting hard now, and I gotta clean that out. I'll have to remember how to clean up my brush. I haven't done that forever. Get them all cleaned out and looking better. One's actually been dyed red, so I gotta clean that out again. I tried, but it's just stuck. You can see that's nice and red now instead of being what it was before. Are you going to try pre-ordering the core rulebook and the? I didn't build or paint anything in Domus, so I thought I shouldn't buy another box. That's true. Yeah, I still have lots of stuff I gotta put together and build. It's been sitting there in my pile there forever and ever. Something in my eye. You gotta pre-order the core rulebook and the index cards for your orcs. That's true. Yeah, all that stuff will eventually be sold in singles. It's the Terminator Captain, or all that stuff. I saw already seen the new Apothecary Biologist there up for sale. It is a nice box. It's a great box. The models in there are fantastic. I've already seen people trying to sell the Space Marine part. I've seen people trying to sell it's all, of course, all individual parts for a whole bunch of money. They're trying to cash in on it, which is fair, I guess. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days or weeks with the eBay scalpers. I looked the cards so as Hobby Star go to. I'm sure they will get more. Oh yeah, we'll get more. I know that was one of the things people were upset about. The stores didn't get very many of any of them. I think they got there was one store that got like 4 Space Marine index cards and like 2 of everything else for Space Marines and Imperials, and then they got like 2 of every Chaos and Xenos one. So they didn't really get a lot. There wasn't a lot there. So, and seeing as if you're playing Dark Angels or Space Wolves, you need 2 of them anyway. So there's at least there's 4 players that are going to eat up. Just 4 people will eat up all the Space Marine indexes right away, just to get the full effect of their army. Yeah, Space Marines, Orcs, yeah, they'd sell fast, especially the Tau there. Orcs, I'm not surprised they sold fast. And I think Guard's pretty, I'm not sure, from what I understood, Guard's pretty popular right now too. Lots of cool stuff in their index, all the new vehicles, and Creed there is apparently just like an auto take now. You need to take Creed in order to have a really effective army. But so I'm just waiting for this paint to dry up. We're going to paint up this little sword here, and we're going to put it into a terrain piece. I'll show that a little bit later once it's done. Get the full effect of this terrain piece that I worked on. It's a big one too. It's a few years ago now that I worked on it for a Instagram competition through who is it? I can't remember who it is now. Who was it through? Just trying to find it now. I can't remember the name of it. It ticks me off when I can't remember the stuff. Come on. I follow too many people. I can't find it right now. It was for a train competition where you had you could only, the base itself had to be like that big, but you could build up. And so I decided to do that. I'd been in a couple of competitions before that, and eventually I just ran out of time, so I didn't actually get to show it off there. Showed off a few times on my Instagram, and I don't think I've actually ever, don't remember if I put it on the YouTube page or not. Anyways, but that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to get this done to put it in that. I'll show that later. Just almost dry here, and then I'm going to put on some different colors to make it look chaosy without going with the traditional red and or gold, black, and all. I'm going to try and do something a bit crazier out there. Where did it go? Had color. And now I can't find it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's it. I'll start with some Nagaroth Knight. Gee, what's up, my man? Gee, the Hyposapien. So we're going to get some Nagaroth Knight as a base. And then going to get some... Goes good with purple. Orcs are hijacking stream. No, they're not. That's silly. This is a Imperial only stream. Sorry. Can't be on here. What goes good with purple in terms of metal? Would it be gold, silver? It's not a huge decision, but it's want to kind of, it's a small bit, but I want it to pop in the model. You know what I mean? Where did that go? There's my lead belcher, chainmail. We come to good. You do that. I need non-oil. Okay. Sure. Can use this in a while. Gonna get this up in here. Okay, so I need. Well, that's all orcs ever come to. They only ever come to Crumb. It's like the orc pastime, right? Oh, that's not going to work. That's going to be too dark. Okay, scratch that idea. We didn't like the new Leviathan, no green skins. I'm surprised they went with Tyranids. I would assume they would have gone. Just trying to think here. I assume they would have gone with something like orcs and all, but I guess they wanted to up the ante a bit. Careful. I'll clean up after.
What's on my sock?
Oh, what a sad face. I know. I guess they decided to go Nid. It's a bit different than all the chaos stuff they've been going through, and they did Necrons last time. So I guess, and it's been, 6th and 7th was chaos. 5th was orcs. 4th was Nids.
Good night.
Good night. 3rd was Dark Eldar, and 2nd was orcs. So orcs have been there a few times. No. I don't know. Maybe next time you'll get your orcs in again. Who knows? I mean, the models look fantastic no matter what. All right. So that Nagathron, where is it? It's the Nagaroth Knight's too dark. I need something that's going to pop a bit more than that. What if I did Hawk Turquoise? That might work. Silly squishy bugs. Yes, they are squishy. They're less silly now, though. They really upped the evolutionary sort of adaptation features of the Nids, right? That's okay. I have plenty of orc boxes. Yeah, I'm sure you do. The orcs got lost in there. All the new orc squig stuff is fantastic. All the new toys I got to play with, the Beast Boys and all that. But yeah. I do like the new Nid stuff. The whole the fact they've evolved to deal with the psychic might of other armies, right? You have a new unit that eats psychers, loves to eat psychers. You got new units of small psychic boosters for the Nids, right? Units that spread around the control of the hive mind, which is nice. They've evolved, and I like that. I guess it's, obviously you said the game has evolved. Well, yeah, it's definitely evolved. NIDS have learned their lessons, and now they're ready to eat us all. Unfortunately, I have a feeling that if you wanted to go by an actual sort of real, I know it's not smart to put real context to 40K because it'd be horrible, but really the only species, nothing like a good meal exactly. Well, maybe that's what you need. You should become a Tyranid, and you can do your the funkin' hungry stuff on how does an orc taste? The orc kebabs, the cow shish kebabs. How does human à l'orange taste for the NIDS, right? And just kind of go from there. I think if you want to put any sort of real context to 40K, the NIDS are going to eat everything. It's going to be the NIDS. The NIDS will win in the end. They'll eat all the orcs. They'll kill all the planets off. They'll eat. You personally love it? Yeah. I don't know. I've never had a squig burger. Is that an Outback Australian thing? Squig burger? Is it like your tagline, the burger that bites back, right? Because and would you really get a lot of meat off a squig? It's essentially just a big mouth with teeth. There's a lot of good meat on a squig. Goes well with fungus ale. Nice. But that's the question. How Gamers with Coffee. I didn't see that. Evening, sir. How are you? How's it going? Welcome. We're discussing the logistics of a squig burger. Like, is there good meat on a squig? Right? They taste like mushrooms. It's technically vegan. Oh no. Oh no. I guess they would be mushrooms. So yeah, I guess it would be like if one of those Beyond Burgers they have right now where it's Beyond Meat, it's vegetarian. Oh my lord, no. And fungus ale, we technically do that. I've had beer that's been made out of like things like seaweed. So oh yes, the Beyond Orc Burger. It's not meat. It's mushrooms. It's better for the environment that way, right? Oh, that's horrible. That's made me sad now. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Gamers with Coffee, how are you tonight? Welcome to the stream. Were you able to get your hands on a copy of Leviathan there? And a lot of good stuff. Are you one of the much like me here who didn't even try? I didn't even attempt to get it. Didn't want to go through the hassle of trying to fight my way through queues and all that stuff. Not yet. Okay. Plus, I've already got so much to paint. I don't really have time for more. I've got a backlog I got to get my butt through eventually. Although 10th has been so far, I've mentioned a bunch of times in videos, it's actually got me to get some stuff redone, and with the new indexes sort of changing up how some of the units work, it's given me opportunities to get new units in the army I hadn't had before while refining things. Sold out. Yeah, I actually hopped on the Games Workshop website earlier today, and the queue to pre-order was already like 45 minutes, and probably wasn't going to stay at 45 minutes. But yeah, so I show these guys off here. I did get some of my new, my assault squad with jetpacks here done up. Including this old guy, he's got like the old backpack when the old armor's there, and some other guys. Now, a couple of these guys were actually at one point. There's some more chain swords, bolt pistols. Two of them are actually part of the old company veteran squad, because obviously in 8th and 9th they sort of separated the command squad. So your ancient, your champion, and your apothecary were separate character units, and then you had the rest of it could be just these company veterans. Now they slammed it all together again. So the company veterans unit is gone. They made tactical squads a full 10-man squad. So I had a couple small 5-man squads. So I just jammed them together, threw a couple special weapons in. So I had some extra models here. And so I decided, you know what? Let's make them all. I think it was This was this gentleman and this one were actually guys armed with bolters. At one point, I said, why not? Let's make them all chain swords. So I just ripped the old arms off, repainted them quick. And this happy chap here, at one point, was a unit champion way back in like 4th or 5th edition. A unit sergeant, and he just sort of fit in. He's got the power fist there, he's got the bolt pistol, and he's got Eustartes shield, which gives him a 4+ invulnerable save. So he became the sergeant for my new assault squad, which was a lot of fun. So that's what I've been doing, changing that up, taking a model out of my scout sniper squad, throwing a missile launcher guy in there. So it's all these little changes, but it's been a lot of fun to do. It's been very exciting to get them done. Right now, like I said, I'm working on this little piece. It's a pretty irrelevant piece, to be honest, but it's something I was looking for a while ago for forever. I couldn't find it. And as these things usually happen, I finally found it looking for something else. I was actually looking for parts for that assault squad, and I finally found it. Something I'm looking for years ago and can never find. So right now I'm just getting this thing done up real quick. Oh, that's not going to work. That's much darker than that. Get your head in the game, Steve. Come on. Where'd that go? I'll show you the whole thing once it's done. So again, little thing now. I'm actually going to do a bunch of silver and gold on this now to get it caught up to where I want it to be. Where did it? There it is. Yeah. So were you able to get in the pre-order for all the other stuff, the core rule book, the Tyrannic War campaign stuff, all the new cards, index cards? I was mentioning before that they didn't send a lot out to the stores. It was very small amounts that got out there, and especially I think it was like 4 Marine indexes and 2 of every other Marine stuff. So if you're playing Blood Angels or Space Wolves or anything, you're taking both of them to get the full effect of your army, right? So didn't leave very much for everybody else, which is kind of unfortunate, but I guess that's just the way they decided to do it. I know there's a lot of people who aren't too happy with that, but kind of wish Games Workshop would. Hopefully, when I know they have a position open for a distribution manager out in the States now. No, I still only had a small amount of everything. The list was long, so nothing yet. I did download core rules as well. Yeah, I think that's what everybody's done. I've downloaded the core rules and the Space Marine Index, and the Dark Eldar and the Eldari Index, because I do have small armies for those. I want to make sure I can still goof around with those a bit. Although I'm going to have to get more of each, because it really, right now I don't even have for either one for like a straight up combat patrol. That isn't too bad. But eventually I'll get up there. But yeah, I definitely got the Space Marine Index. Don't need any other ones, Space Wolves or any of that stuff. Black Templars. Even though I do have a sizable Black Templar army, I should probably get that one. It's always fun to have them there. They've always been a weird army for me. I've always done really well with them just because it's charge and shoot with those guys for the most part. At least it was in the old editions. I actually haven't played them in anything really recent. There's some gold on there now. It's some blue and some gold. I don't know if you can see that very well. I played some blue, gold, and get some silver on there now. But yeah. So far, thanks everybody who's hopped on the stream here. Much appreciated. Got on a little bit late today, but that's okay. We'll go for a little while longer. Just want to get this done so I can show you this cool train piece I did, but I don't want to show you without this last little piece. Really want to get this last little piece done. Get a little bit of silver out here. So has anybody had a chance to have a game of 10th edition yet? I haven't, unfortunately. Hopefully, hope to remedy that soon. But yeah, I can't wait to try a game of 10th. See with all the cool new rules, which I'm still, I read through the index all the time, and there's always something new to find out. Little changes here and there that are a lot of fun actually, and much to my happiness, are very fluffy too. a lot of stuff in there. Just wow, that is something that they would be able to do. For instance, the assault squad there. The assault squad I have without the jump pack has chainsaw doctrines. So when you want to attack, you can choose either sustain hits 1, lance, or lethal hits, depending on, which is great because they would have different options depending on what they are having to face up to. That's the hallmark of especially Ultramarines, is having the tactical options. So it's great. I know the Blood Angels, the assault squad with jump packs is another separate ability. It has to do with slamming into people with jump packs. I think it causes mortal wounds when they come slamming in, which is again very accurate to what an assault squad filled with assault, the jump packs would do. You're coming, these guys slamming in. They're not going to just land gently and then start slicing. They're going to come barreling in, chain swords or power swords, blood, axes, thunder hammers, whatever. They come in barreling in. So it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense to me, anyways. But that's just me. So there's some quick little dab of silver on there now. I'm going to get this handle done up. I'm not sure with what yet, but I missed the spot there I want to get. There we go, that's better. That's better. Just want all this to look nice. That's better. Perfect. All right, let's get this done up, shall we? It's been a long day, unfortunately, but we're good, doing good now. So how have you guys been doing? You guys had a good weekend so far? I always like to check up on everybody, make sure everyone's doing okay. I know a lot of people waiting for the other shoe to drop half the time. So hopefully you guys are doing okay and everyone's at least somewhat happy. I know I'm just myself. I'm really excited for what 10th is going to bring, and I think it's going to make the game a lot better for everybody. And I think overall, people will be happier with this edition than the last couple. But that's just me. Although I got to say, one of the funny things that people, I guess, in our community, we do like to hold grudges a bit, and people are obviously, I think, within their rights to be a little upset that some people got codices that only lasted like 3 months. So they didn't really get to play with them very much before they were suddenly gone, which is, I could understand that being someone being upset about that. Hopefully these indexes will last a while, and hopefully, I don't know, are we actually getting codices this time around? Are we actually going to get a codex, or are we just doing indexes now? I would like to see a full Space Marine codex for this edition. I mean, the indexes are fine, but I'd like to see a full codex. I like the fluff, and those books were usually filled with fluff. So hopefully we get to see them again sooner than later. But I guess maybe I shouldn't hold my breath. I don't know. I haven't actually seen anybody say anything about the codex. Now maybe I missed that particular article, but it looks like we may have to go without. I don't know. Just trying to get some silver on here. There you go. And a little bit more gold. At the very top, the pommel there. I want to get that painted up in a nice gold. Make things look a little bit unique here. Looks like I kind of want this little thing to pop. And it should, with the variance of colors here, the blue, the silver, and gold, it should stand out. At least when you get close up to it, it should sort of pop out and people go, oh, that looks cool. All right, we just want our terrain pieces to look cool. Yeah, hopefully the stores will get filled back up soon enough, and we can all get what we need and what we want from good old G-Dub. All right, so there you go, guys. So we got a little bit of, get some blue in there, some silver, gold, the pommel, and the handguard are silver. The very base end of it, which is the pommel's gold, the handle itself is silver. And I'm going to add a little bit of Agrix Earthshade and some Nuln Oil in there to sort of shade it up, and then we'll do some highlighting just to kind of make it pop a bit. And which was it? And then I think I'll use some of this to do some highlighting on the blue. And then it should look nice. I'm actually tempted. Like in the pommel, it's hard to see there. If you look right in there, there's a little circle inside. I might actually make that like a green color. Kind of make it stand out a bit. Always like a little green. I don't get to use it very often. Not to use it for like sometimes for lenses and helmets. I did paint up that orc weird boy that Mythos sent me. That was cool to get some green, but I don't usually use lots and lots of green. It's not my color choice, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna get this some green, just a little bit of green right there. And on the other side too, and then we'll get a little bit of green on there to make that pop. And there we go. There. Just got a little green on the gold. I want to clean that up. There we go. Perfect. All right. So now, what other wargaming news have you guys have been piquing your interest? Whether it's Age of Sigmar or 40K, you guys heard any new fluff stuff? I know some people have been going on about it, about all the big changes. Which Primarch do you think is next? Right? What do you guys think? What's your take on where 40K is going to go now? We've had another Primarch return. Chaos won itself some big victories. Obviously now we get the Nids about to devour the galaxy from every single possible direction. You think they're going to take this to a point where they're going to have no choice but to sort of do a whole end times thing and sort of do a hard reset? I don't know. I don't know myself. But what do you guys think? Let me know, guys. What do you guys think about that? Put some Agrix Earthshade on here. Kind of darken up that gold before I give it a silver highlight. Come on, guys. Let me know. What do you think? I mean, it took them a long time to get to the end times of Warhammer Fantasy, and that was a massive reboot. And obviously, 10th has been sort of a pretty big reboot rule-wise, sort of bringing things in line with how Age of Sigmar works rule-wise. But do you think we're going to get to a point where Terra itself might be the next battleground, or do you think that's a few editions away? Right, so Nuln Oil here now. Nuln this thing up. Nuln Oil is the big go-to, right? Put that on the silver parts here. There we go. A little bit too much on there. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, we're getting to the end of this. We're going to get this put in here, and everyone should be happy then. I know I'll be happy when it's done. Again, this is a bit I was looking for the longest time, and I just couldn't find it until I was looking for bits for the Assault Squad here. Assault Squads. And finding that, I found this bit. I want to get this in there. I want to show it off at the end here. All right, so now I'm gonna let that dry up a bit. But yeah, so I mean, I think personally that the Nid thing, obviously, the Nids are heading towards Terra. According to the new fluff, the Orcs are heading towards Terra. Gazgul there's got like the biggest Orc fleet ever. Abaddon and Vashtor have found the key, and now they're looking for the lock that will allow them to get the weapon that will allow them to destroy the Imperium once and for all. The Necrons are still waking up. We'll see where they are. Obviously, they had their own weird stuff happening at the end of the 8th, all the psychic awakening stuff. And even getting into they tried to bring a Necron, one of the Catan, and the Imperial, the Inquisition there were able to set it free, and it saved them, and then proceeded to God knows do's know what with the Necron Lord in that area. Obviously into 9th, the Necrons were still a big part of it with the Indominus Crusade, but we saw how that spread out, and now obviously stuff with Angron coming back and the Lion coming back and the forces jostling and things getting more and more tense. And the way it ended with the Lion defeating Angron, and so Angron's going to be extra mad, and it's going to be crazy to see where it goes. But it looks like everything's sort of finally making its way towards Terra. Right? Obviously, there's still lots of Primarchs to get out. They'll definitely want to get as many Primarch models as possible, whether it's loyalist or heretical. I've seen rumors about Fulgrim coming back. That'll be the next thing. Fulgrim himself coming back. Now, again, if you've read the fluff, you'll know. And if this is a spoiler alert, what have you. But there's obviously Fulgrim, the Demon Prince, who haven't really seen much. There's been rumors of him. They say they've seen him. He's spoken through avatars to Gulliman a few times. He's there. But if you've read any of the other stuff, especially when it comes to like the Necrons, you know that there is a fully grown clone of Fulgrim who is untainted. He is Fulgrim before he ever fell, and he understands what the original Fulgrim has done, and he hates what he's done, and he's actually carried away. It was fully formed by what's his name, Fabius Bile, but he was taken away, I think, by so was it Trans in the Infinite, maybe? I could be getting that wrong, but he was taken away so that he wasn't corrupted by Bile. And so there is a which is very cool, there is out there somewhere is a Primarch Fulgrim, untainted, and there's the Demon Primarch Fulgrim and all his multi-armed, snaky, wingy glory. It's very, very cool. All right, so this should be dried enough now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of the chainmail. I can't believe I still have some chainmail. I think I would have gone through that by now, but I still have it. Long before they changed all this stuff over. So yeah, I think it's and obviously there's lots of stuff in the fluff about after the Emperor flowed through Gulliman to bring Gulliman back from the brink of death again, and wounding, damaging Nurgle's garden and wounding Nurgle. Gulliman was trying to find a way to bring back the Emperor, and so there's that thing too. Are we ever going to see the Emperor come back? Right? Will Horus somehow come back? Obviously, there was clones of Horus, and back at the end of the Horus heresy, that Bile was messing around with that. Right? What about Sanguinius? He's dead. Right? Is Dorn still out there somewhere? How do we bring these guys back? Will Erebus come back? What form will he? Obviously, he'll take a demon Primarch form. He'll be one of the first ones to get it, or really relish in it. But what? There's lots of stuff to bring back before they decide to sort of go, okay, that's it, we're ending it, right? And again, how hard is it to end a whole universe. The blowing up one planet is one thing, like they did in Warhammer Fantasy Battle. It's one thing to blow up a whole planet. It's much easier to do. Blow a planet. They blow up planets all the time in 40k, but to sort of take apart a whole universe is the whole galaxy is a bit of a tougher pill to have people swallow. I mean, getting people to change base sizes when that first happened for Marines was actually pretty crazy because, who thought you were actually going to have to start changing the base sizes for your Marines? And then, it became a thing. And I know I was a little put off. I'm like, really? I got to rebase all my Marines now? After I spent all this time, same base? But no, now they're on bigger bases. I guess it makes sense. You want to differentiate the height of certain things. Just trying to get these corners done a bit. That's not so bad. Okay, and we're getting there. I don't know. I have a feeling at some point. I mean, they're still talking about the visions that Dante in his newly upper powered body has been getting. These new visions. The visions are still there of the Golden Warrior standing before the Emperor. Most people think it's him. It could be Sanguinius returned. We don't really know. But I think it'd be cool if he did. If Sanguinius somehow came back. I think it'll have something to do with the Sanguinar in the end. That seems to be the most, probably one of the safest and easiest bets to have somehow the Sanguinar be like, yeah, I was Sanguinius all the time, and somehow he gets brought back by the close, almost like, I guess I could say, psychic connection he had with his sons. When he was back in the Horus Heresy books, when he was sad and sullen and upset, so were they. And when he fell battling Horus, the minute he fell, all the Blood Angel Marines that were still lining the walls to the Imperial Imperial Fortress, Imperial Palace, and in the battlefield suddenly just abandoned any sort of tactical reasoning and just charged headlong the battle. They were ripping heretic Marines apart with their bare hands. Arms were flying off, heads ripped apart. There was that black rage that took over them, right? And eventually it subsided, right? And of course his death left that mark on their psyche, and that's why they still have the black rage now, and that's what drives them. They see visions of Sanguinius' death, and it drives them mad, right? So could that, just like anything, could that constant psychic connection to the past be maybe feeding the Sanguinar or create or building up around him, right? He always comes in moments of greatest need for Blood Angels, right? Now, especially if you look at the way 40k is right now, where basically the greatest need is pretty much everywhere for Blood Angels. If they are there multiple Sanguinars popping up, right? Is it a psychic emanation emanating from them, or is it something bigger? It's hard to say. I think at some point we'll see Sanguinius return. I can't wait to see Russ return. I'd like to see what they do with him. The same with, say, someone like Korax, because obviously apparently he's sort of evolved to being like he can actually travel from shadow to shadow now. He has been definitely affected by the warp. So we'll see what happens with some of these characters when they come back. Okay, so this little sword, which I like here, I just did a quick. There's silver, gold. I went with hawk turquoise with a little bit of Lothern blue over top, some gold, silver, a couple greens in there. What was it? It was Warpstone glow with a little bit of moot green over top. And the gold was Retributor armor with a little Agrax Earthshade and then some chainmail for the highlight. So there we go. We got this nice little sword. Very happy with it. And we're going to put that in this piece right here. Boom. Ooh, that looks cool. Okay, so this piece I talked about earlier was one I did for a competition. And what it was to build anything you want. It had to be on a small little base. I'll show you in a second. And you could build up any way you wanted. But it was something that was supposed to be taken from some sort of mythology. And at the time when this happened, that the Phoenix book had come out at the end of 8th, right? And in it they talk about the crone swords. They need them all to maybe defeat Slanesh, and obviously one was taken away and hidden on the Slaneshi world. And at the same time, I thought, okay, that's cool, and that feels kind of Sword in the Stone-ish. And the competition was like to take some mythology and like Sword in the Stone. Everybody knows the story of the Sword in the Stone mythos in one way or another, right? And so I decided to build something cool. At least I thought it was cool. Unfortunately, I didn't finish it in time. But here it is. So what we've got here is a big floating rock piece. I love it. It's huge, right? I have some smaller rock pieces that I built up out of just pink foam. Then I painted it, covered the top with some sand. Decided to build these up as some sort of destroyed ruin, the block in the middle, and of course our little sword. It was a bit I could never find. So getting closer, there's our little sword. Top of the bear in there. It's sturdy. You can put models up there so you can ship some fighting. And that's the base size. It's actually a little a paint, sort of, a little paint showcase thing you get at many of those like hardware stores. Because I just put sand in the bottom, painted it up, used an old tub, the old tube that had super glue in it as the base there, and I painted this up. And it was some pink foam that I found on the street, honestly. And I just chopped up, put together, left the holes. I want to look like it had been shot at, blasted. There's been fights for this thing. And of course, that would be your Sword in the Stone or the crone sword, right? So it comes out there. You can put it back in. And there you go, right? And obviously, I'll try and do this here, but I can have my Marines up here. It's very sturdy. I've already tested it out. So we get some assault Marines here fighting for this thing. Right, and there they are. Assault Marines have managed to find a way up, and now they've got themselves their little crone sword there, right? Maybe or whatever you want it to be. But yeah, so this is what I decided to do for that contest. Unfortunately, I didn't finish in time. It just it was a bigger project than I thought it was going to be. Took some time to get done, some time to paint. And there you go. But that was a cool thing. Like I said, I have these other little pieces that actually can form. I made them circular, right, when I cut them out, so they actually can sort of form like a circle of rocks around the base. That way it looks, it's like a floating rock thing. That was cool too. I thought, Sword in the Stone thing's cool. It's a sword that's going to, either make a king or, save an entire race, depending on the fluff you want to go with it. And the whole stone thing, at one point I thought, hello, Michael, how's it going, man? How are you today? Didn't see it there. Hello. So I thought I could maybe take that and sort of build up a stone base with a sword on top of it, maybe put some skeletons around it, the past failures trying to get this sword. I'm like, that's cool, but it seems kind of limited. I'm just sort of going up into a point. There's the rock, there's the stone, some bodies. Plus, it's hard if you build it up, it's hard to put models around it. I want models to be able to sort of interact with the terrain, right? So I thought, what if and of course, you looked at some of I was looking at pictures and fluff, and of course I saw lots of cool tables that had floating islands. I thought, that's it. I'm going to put this together, floating island, Sword in the Stone sort of thing, motif at the top, and that's what I went with. So, and I finally found the bit, so it's finally in there. You can see my happy little swords in there. It looks pretty cool myself, if I do say so myself. But yeah, 10th so far. Again, everybody, happy Leviathan Day. If you're looking your hands on it, great. I think it's an awesome set. Like I said, I've already seen people selling it. An individual, I want to see if I can find it here. Someone was already selling let's see if I can find it now. Yeah, right here. Someone's selling the Space Marine First Squad for $50. What else? He's selling the Apothecary Biologist for $30, the Lieutenant Phobos Armor for $30, the Rulebook for $50, $130 for the Tyranid half. So this is someone who's just bought it in order to sell it all. Now that they don't have the Terminator captain, Terminators there. So that's probably what they really wanted it for. But yeah, they're selling everything else off. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's good that they're doing it. But again, we're probably going to see a lot more of that. And as tempted I am to just get those little things, I'll wait. I may not even get Leviathan for a while. I'll maybe wait for them to come on their own because I don't really need all the Tyranid parts. I was going to build a Tyranid army, but it's one of those things that's sort of just collecting dust now, which I should probably get them done before I get more Tyranids. But I'm going to call it there for tonight, guys. Thank you for everybody who watched. I just want to get this done, have some fun chatting with you guys. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Keep rolling those dice. We'll see you later. Bye.